What's up, guys? Jared here, Paintbrush Samurai. Today, we're going to talk about defeating our number one opponent. Who is our number one opponent? If you have a mirror, check it out. That is your number one opponent. That is your number one opponent holding you back from success. But that's yourself. Yes, that is yourself. All right? And let me tell you why you are the number one enemy in your own success. The reason is because of temptation. All right? You, more than anyone else, know how to tempt yourself to do the wrong thing. And your persuasion is way more powerful than the most seductive woman in the world, or the smartest guy, or the trickiest person in the world. You can tempt yourself way more powerfully than them. You know exactly what you need to hear to do the wrong thing, right? So only you can convince yourself that something is the right choice or the wrong choice. For example, let's say I have a really important paper that I want to get to, and I'm really wanting to write it, right? Now, somebody could try to convince me not to write it, but if I want to write that paper, I'm going to be like, nah, man, I'm just going to do it. Or, hey, come out with me. We're going to go out to this party. Nah, man, I'm good. Like, I just really want to write this paper. Like, there's really nothing you could say to change my mind about it. However, I could perceive it and say, yeah, but, it's really not that big of a deal if I don't write it, because I did write that other paper yesterday. And maybe, my grade is a 98. Is it really that big of a deal? If I do the math, it'll only take me down to a 92. Right? And that's totally acceptable. I told myself I wanted to get an A, not a 99. It's totally fine. Right? I know exactly how to convince myself to do the wrong thing. So, I become the most difficult enemy to face. Now, could also talk very briefly about why this happens, right? Why do we get in our own way? That makes no sense. Well, in reality, we're going to have to delve deep beyond your conscious layer and into your subconscious layer in order to find these answers. All right, the answer derives from various reasons depending on what your goal is and in what way you're hindering yourself. But the reality comes in is most likely it has to do with fear, right? There's some aspect of fear of the unknown, fear of success. If you're not already successful, then success is the unknown, right? So you may feel like you know how to get there, and consciously you do. But subconsciously, you still fear change. You fear not success, right? And as a result, you can sometimes implant little falsehoods within yourself that will stop you, that will inhibit you from doing the things that you know consciously will bring you to success. And these are a way for your fears to verify themselves, right? So, for example, I'm working, doing my thing. I know I'm on the right path to success. Subconsciously, by the way, physically I'm seeing no results, but subconsciously I start to have doubts because I have this fear of success and a fear of generating money. Maybe deep in childhood it's been ingrained in me that money is evil and bad, which for most people is pretty much a reality that a lot of people have been told that. So I have this subconscious fear that says money is evil, money leads to loneliness, success is not for everyone, you're just born successful. So I have this subconscious fear, but the subconscious fear is not real, it's totally non-existent. But suddenly temptation comes in, okay? I start to tempt myself with things, and then I convince myself, because I'm the absolute best in the world at convincing myself. No one in the world is better than convincing you than you. And you convince yourself to make the wrong choice. You convince yourself to take days off. You convince yourself to not push forward. You convince yourself to quit. You convince yourself to not be consistent. And as a result, this fear now verifies itself because you don't see results. You don't become successful. You don't become wealthy. You don't reach your goals. But not because what you were doing was wrong, but because you tricked yourself into going down the wrong path and you allowed your fears to verify themselves, right? So this is why chasing success requires a great deal of courage, because courage is what we use to combat fear. So, you want to know how to combat your number one enemy, which is yourself? First things first, identify your enemy. I've done that for you. It's yourself. What is your enemy's motive? I've also done that for you. You know why. Deep-bedded fears, you could look into it more thoroughly to see why it has manifested maybe, but bottom line, you know that your enemy has a motive and he's out to get you. Personally, I like to call it the tiger. Alright, this phrase was kind of coined by Victor Pride, and I enjoy it. I like the idea of a tiger out hunting me. That's just like badass, and I'm gonna try and fight it off. And now, what is the tool that we use to fight off yourself? And that one is courage. Okay? How do we use courage? We need to use courage to have faith in yourself when no one else does, right? Or maybe a few people do, or maybe, other people do, but the reality is you need to believe in yourself. It didn't matter if the whole world believed in you. If you didn't believe in yourself, doesn't matter. You have to believe in yourself, and that takes a great deal of courage. It takes a great deal of balls to believe that you can accomplish things that 99% of the world cannot accomplish. That's a big deal, right? So continue pushing forward with your unrealistic dreams, your impossible fantasies, your unrealistic expectations of yourself and those around you. Continue on with those things. Continue moving forward, making progress. And don't get eaten by the tiger.